Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiwastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Respectable the Vice President Corporate Communication of PT Pertamina Persero, Ibu Fajria Usman. Honorable Director of Pertamina University, Professor Ahmaluka, PhD. The speaker of this event, Honorable Dr. Nufransa Wira Sakti. Honorable Bapak Agus Mashud S. Asngari. Honorable Dr. Siwage Dharma Negara. Honorable Budi W.Soejipto, PhD. Honorable the Moderator of this event, Dr. Dina Nurul Fitria, MT CSCA CRP. Honorable all the participants, commit, and of course all the invited guests. My highest appreciation for our neighboring higher education institutions that participate actively in Pertamina Space Hub 3.0, especially for Malay Higher Education Institution, University Teknologi Malaysia, Hospital Pulau Pinang, RS Pahat, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, SMK Anderson Malaysia, University of Kuala Lumpur British Malaysia, and University Kuala Lumpur Mitek Malaysia. First of all, let's praise our God, the most gracious, the most merciful, the creator and sustainer of the universe this morning, on Thursday, 20 January 2021, in our big event, International Webinar and Grand Opening Pertamina Space Hub 3.0. With them, living with COVID-19 in new normal era. Now I would like to read you about the rules of this event. There's a score name. Second, participants are obligated to unmute the mic when the event takes place. Third, participants who want to ask questions are allowed to unmute the mic in the Q&A session by clicking raise hand feature first. And the last, underscore question. We would like to thank for our sponsor and media partner to support us in this event. Thanks to Pertamina in the making of Space Hub 3.0. Therefore, we are hoping that this event will bring the name of Space Hub 3.0 into a higher level. As well as
Joko, memangnya sedang nak mengej atau bak akhir ni kok?
In the ASEAN region. Thanks also to Pertamina Foundation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, before we start our agenda for today, there will be sing the national anthem, Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. Thank you.
Indonesia tanah airku, tanah tumpah darahku. Di sanalah aku semuanya, bangunlah jiwanya, bangunlah badannya untuk Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang kucinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang kucinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, step on the following agenda are speeches. The first speech from Ibu Fitria Usman as the Vice President Corporate Communication of PT Pertamina Persero. For Ibu Fitria, time is yours.
Sudah masuk belum Ibu Fitria, Dek? Ibunya dikontak, Dek.
Okay, maybe Ibu Fitria due to technical problem, we'll pause the event. Ladies and gentlemen, the second is welcoming speech and opening from Profesor Ahmaluka PhD as Director of Pertamina University. For Bapak Ahmaluka, please, time is yours.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Ibu, adik-adik. I have to speak in English, ya. Well, distinguished guest, speaker, first, probably Ibu Fitria Usman, Vice President of Communication PT Pertamina Persero, Dr. Nufransa Wira Sakti, his expert staff for Tech Supervisor, Indonesian Ministry of Finance, Dr. Siwage Dharma Negara from ISEAS Yusof Ishak Institute, Singapore, Bapak Agus Mashud Asngari, President for Pertamina, President Director of Pertamina Foundation, colleagues from Pertamina University, student committee, and all participants of Pertamina Speech Up 3.0. Selamat pagi, good morning, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First, I would like to send my appreciation for your time and kind attention, and welcome all of you virtually to the grand opening of Pertamina Speech Up 3.0. The theme for this year is Living with COVID-19 in New Era. We are here to celebrate communal effort of enduring and fighting against the COVID-19 pandemic. For this event, we do hope to gather ideas, knowledge, and experience in synergetic effort to win situation amid the COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to express my gratitude to our student in Scientific Research Student Activity Unit for being able to successfully launch Pertamina Speech Up 3.0. Even though these students are specially dispersed from all over islands in Indonesia, Sumatra, Java, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Maluku, and Papua. And I had also the participants from Malaysia, Brunei Darussalam, and other ASEAN countries. They are virtually interconnected and imaged to upgrade this year's Speech Up to an ASEAN level. It's a 3 times, right? The set for today, for this year, right? My appreciation also goes to PT Pertamina Persero for sponsoring this wonderful event. I believe with the involvement of Pertamina, we do have a better competition, especially in the industrial case category that is performed for the first time this year. I also would like to thank to BMKG office for hosting virtual company visit. My appreciation also goes to respective panel from LIPI, Research and Technology Center, RTC, PT Pertamina Persero, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Forestry, Film Industry, and artist professionals. We understood that the COVID-19 pandemic must be properly taken off in terms of containing its contagious effect while balancing the economic impact. This led to change in many aspects of our daily life, including education, industry, economic, and private sector. In our university, Pertamina University, we adopt the new normal on a higher education system properly. We believe all of us are provided working and learning process that properly protect them while upholding the quality of education standard. It is important to note that with the many challenges, the COVID-19 pandemic also opened many opportunities. This opportunity arises from the availability of access through various IT platforms. Learning can be carried out anytime, anywhere, from a lot of quality provider. Meetings and agreements are performed in a day with many global counterparts. This huge opportunity must be seized by all of us, no matter the role that we have, probably for students, teachers, professional, industrial personnel, and others. Today's speaker contribute more in detail concerning their experience on this issue, which I believe will be very beneficial for all of us. I would like to thank to Dr. Nufransa Wira Sakti, Dr. Siwage Dharma Negara, Bapak Agus Mashud Asngari, and from our sides, Dr. Budi Soejipto. Last but not least, to all contestants, well, in my note is probably more than 160 contestants competing in different categories. So for all of you, a good luck. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Bapak Ahmaloka, for the tweeted speech and open the event. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, step on the following agenda is ice breaking.
takes over. Blood is running, heart is pumping as the battle gets closer. They can say what they want now, 'cause we'll be screaming now. We can be heroes everywhere we go. We can have all that we ever want. Swinging like Ali, rocking out bodies, standing on top like a champion. Keep your silver, give me that gold. You'll remember when I say we can be heroes everywhere we go. Keeping us down is impossible, 'cause we're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. Every spotlight, every soundbite, everybody who gave up is just it's a fuel for
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the speech from Ibu Fitria Usman as the Vice President Corporate Communication of PT Pertamina Persero. For Ibu Fitria, time is yours.
Thank you. Distinguished guests and speakers, Bapak Agus Mashud, President Director of Pertamina Foundation, Bapak Dr. Nurfransa Wira Sakti, Assistant of Minister for Tax Supervisory, Dr. Siwage Dharma Negara, Yusof Ishak Institute Singapore, Professor Ahmaloka, Rector of Pertamina University and all management, Profesor Ihsan Setiaputra, Bapak Teddy Wahyudi, Bapak Dr. Budi W.Soejipto, Bapak Robi Hervindo, Ibu Dr. Dina Nurul Fitria as Mentor of Scientific Research and Student Activity Unit, all deans and lecturers of Pertamina University, our beloved Student Committee of Pertamina Space Up 3.0, and all Energi Muda participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to all of you. Minister for Research and Technology, as also Chairman of National Agency for Research and Innovation, Bambang Brojonegoro, has ever stated that for the past 2 years, Indonesia is the most productive country in Asia in producing scientific publications. However, he noted that Indonesian scientists need to improve the quality of those publications. One way to achieve this is by introducing scientific research to people from early age. Enter Pertamina Space Up 3.0, an annual competition held by Scientific Research and Writing Club of Pertamina University and proudly supported by Pertamina, is one of our way to accustom young millennials to scientific research. To embrace this passion for scientific research that hopefully will benefit the society as well. Okay, excuse me. Let me repeat my last statement. To embrace the passion for scientific research that hopefully will benefit the society as well as our energy industry. It is also in line with Pertamina's duty to establish Indonesia's energy independence for the prosperity of all. So I'm very honored to be here today and to meet you in this lovely event Space Up and under the theme of living with COVID-19 in normal era. In new normal era. As we are well aware, Indonesia and the rest of the world is facing tremendous challenge of providing energy for the entire globe. Pertamina is also tackling this challenge by continuously developing conventional as well as new and renewable energy. Last year, we completed 243 locations of one price fuel or BBM satu harga that provides affordable fuel for people in remote areas. We also successfully digitized more than 5,000 fuel stations across Indonesia, providing more convenience for customers in terms of cashless payment. Our biodiesel also reduces imported fuel equivalent to $1.6 billion per year, resulting in foreign exchange saving for Indonesia. And so does Cilacap Blue Sky project. Other national strategic projects are also running as scheduled, such as development of refineries and petrochemical industries. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen how we, human beings, swiftly adapt to the changes it brought to us, from the simplest things like moving our workplace or classroom home to the most complicated things, such as how to make our business thrive during the pandemic. It is marvelous to see that human beings are so agile that hardship would push us past our limits. This made me confident that when we, global citizens, are united in achieving our shared goals, nothing is impossible. That is what you Space Up 3.0 participants are doing right now. You are showcasing your agility of how we can and will continuously strive during and after the pandemic. I feel so proud that amidst all hardship that you are facing, students and academicians continuously and creatively enrich the discussions around the pandemic and its impact. I'm sure that all of your works here, scientific papers, industrial cases, posters, and documentaries, are important contributions to equip the human beings in facing the new ways of life. These qualities are yours. The qualities of yours are motivating factors, or in Pertamina's words, very energizing. So I believe any developments and innovations require supports from all elements, including higher education institutions such as Pertamina University. Higher education institutions are the catalyst of innovations through research. My highest appreciation is also for our neighboring higher education institutions that participate actively in Pertamina Space Up 3.0, especially for Malay higher education institutions and sixth form colleges Brunei Darussalam. Your participation in Pertamina Space Up 3.0 will hopefully contribute to further advancement in science and the betterment of our society. Lastly, I would like to thank to all of you for joining and contributing to the event. I would also like to congratulate you for being achievers. No matter how challenging your situation is, keep up the spirit of energizing you everywhere you are. Happy competing to become global researchers and leaders to all of you. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ibu Fajria, for the greatest speech. For your information, in this event, we have the prize and giving games, and for 4 lucky person who ask for quick questions. We would like again to thank for our sponsor and media partner to support us in this event. Thanks to PT Pertamina Persero for being our main sponsor. Thanks also to Pertamina Foundation, Pertamina University, Heuri Cosmos, Space Up, Sunday Magazine, Pijar, and Perisai of Pertamina University. Right now is the first photo session, so I hope you for turn on your camera, give your best style and best smile. The session will be handled by Public Relation. For Public Department Relation, time is yours.
Okay, for all the respected participants, the honorable speaker and guests will begin shortly for the photo session. Please get ready and kindly turn on your camera and show us your best reaction. Okay, we will begin from the first slide. First slide, say cheese in 3, 2, 1. Okay, from the second slide, please say cheese in 3, 2, 1. The third slide, please say cheese in 3, 2, 1. The fourth slide, please say cheese in 3, 2, 1. Okay. The fifth slide, please say cheese in 3, 2, 1. Okay, the sixth slide, please say cheese in 3, 2, 1. The seventh slide, please say cheese in 3, 2, 1. Okay, the 8th slide, say cheese in 3, 2, 1. Okay, the 9th slide, please say cheese in 3, 2, 1. Okay, for the next slide, in 3, 2, 1. The 11th slide, in 3, 2, 1. The 12th slide, in 3, 2, 1. The 13th slide, in 3, 2, 1. The 14th slide, in 3, 2, 1. The 15th slide, in 3, 2, 1. The 16th slide, in 3, 2, 1. The 17th slide, in 3, 2, 1. The 18th slide, in 3, 2, 1. The 19th slide, in 3, 2, 1. And for the last slide, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I will gladly thank you and return to the MC.
Thank you for the all attention. Ladies and gentlemen, just take at the moment. Right now we are going to introduce our moderator. She is a quick person and humble. Let our know her CV. Curriculum vitae Ibu Dina Nurul Fitria. Education. Bachelor degree majoring in Industrial Economics 1992 to 1997 at 11 Maret University. Faculty of Economics and Business, Department of Economics and Development Studies. Master degree majoring in Industrial Technology on 2000 to 2003 at Bandung Institute of Technology, School of Architecture, Planning and Policy Development, Department of Development Studies. And doctoral program in Agriculture Economics, majoring in Farm Institution and Pricing Policy on 2012 to 2018 at Bogor Agriculture University, Faculty of Economics and Management. Now her purchasing position is full-time lecturer at Economics Department Pertamina University from 2018 until now, and also the coach of UKM Heuri Cosmos and in this event Space Up 3.0. For Ibu Dina Nurul Fitria, time is yours.
Ibu Dinanya masih mute.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Awan, for the. Thank you, Awan, for the opportunity. And then I would like to appreciate my highly welcoming speech for the Pak Ahmad Loka, Rector of Pertamina University, and also from the Ibu Fajriah Usman, Corporate Communication Pertamina Persero, distinguished speakers, Pak Nufransa Wira Sakti, and then Pak Agus Mashud, Bapak Siwage, and Bapak Budi W.Soejipto. Now we get into the main event of the time. I will introduce our best speakers at the event. Now, first of all, Space Up 3 is 3.0. Is an event in international Asian level. This is the first time for our student club research and writing skills. And this is for the first time for the industrial competition case also. And we hope, extremely hope that you are all participants, speakers, and audience. And thank you for the Bapak Ahmad Loka for the great opportunity to us to make sure this event is properly managed and properly managed and properly get it done. So the first time I would like to propose Dr. Nufransa Wira Sakti. He is the the respective and honorable speakers from Ministry of Finance. His specialties is in tax policy, particularly in e-commerce tax. So the second one, Bapak Agus Mashud S. Asngari. He is currently our President Director of Pertamina Foundation. And the third one is Dr. Siwage Dharma Negara. He is from the ISEAS Ishak Yusof. He is also my colleague in LIPI formerly. And the most and the respective speakers, our own, Budi, Bapak Budi W.Soejipto PhD. And the time first give to Bapak Nufransa for give him his presentation first. So the time is yours, Pak Franz. Please.
Thank you, Ibu Dina. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished Fitria Usman, Vice President for Corporate Communication of Pertamina, distinguished Professor, Director of University, and also like Agus, President Director of Pertamina, and also Pak Budi, Vice Rector for Development Research and Partnership of Pertamina, and also Pak Siwage from the Yusof Ishak Institute of Singapore. Thank you very much for the opportunity today that I would like about how, especially Ministry deal with the COVID disease, especially to manage allocate budget or what's so-called APBN in order to tackle with the situations so far, and also how we can do the 2021 so that everyone can be enjoy the growth of economy. Okay, first of all, let us take a look at the situation from 2020. It was a very, very suffering situation. But for the first time in January and February, it was a very, very good condition because we already has a new president the October election 2019, and also the new cabinet. It's like a new hope for all of us, and also the trade war between China and America also had to end. Also, the Brexit transition in the end of January also already almost. But unfortunately, during the February and also coming to March and April, there was a COVID-19. It's already infected all of us, especially in Asian countries. As we know that from April, implemented worldwide, including also here in Indonesia. And during that time, on April, we had Idul Fitri, right? So this is the time, the hard time, because usually during the Idul Fitri, many people enjoying the economic growth because many people are buying something for consume many things, food, also dresses, and also many things, so that the economic growth supported by the consumption. But at that 2020, the Idul Fitri of 2020, it does not happen. So it become like suffering for all of us. So and during the July, we had the relaxation policy, and slow but sure the economic grow up, and during the August and September, we can see that economic start to pick up again, as we can see from the amount of export and also the surplus from the national trade balance. So also the election of President US also give some new expectation for all of us, because different from Trump, Joe Biden is like more Democrat, and also not so big surprises during the government. We hope also. Okay, next slide, please. So happened during the COVID-19. How can we measure the response or the reaction from the government to government? If we take a look at the spending for or the allocating budget for spending in many countries, Indonesia is actually to spend more to handle the COVID-19 in moderate things, not so big spending comparing to the GDP growth, but all other countries spends more, at least 7% from the GDP, while Indonesia maybe around 5 or 6% from the GDP. But this is already also the new, how can I say, it's new progressive things, because in previous law, we could not spend more than 3% from the GDP, right? From the national treasury budget law. So during that time, we have the what's called Perpres. So we changed the law so that we can spend more than 3% from the allocation budget to spend, because we need more money to handle this COVID-19 disease. As we can see, compared to other countries, Indonesia's economic contraction and debt to GDP ratio are relatively moderate, and especially during this time, prior to the COVID-19 disease, we spend at least an average less than 30% from the GDP for the debt. But during that time, last year we spent more like 38.5% for the GDP, from the GDP, and also maybe this year we also increase more, like almost 40% from the GDP ratio. This is reflecting that we spend more money in order to give more social protection to the society, so that it will create a demand as a whole. Okay, next slide. If we take a look, what is going on during the COVID-19 disease last year, many countries give different policies, but almost all of them are going to spend more than usual, because they need to stimulate the economy. They need to give social protection, and also to create not only demand but supply also. But because this is different with the economic crisis during the 1998, while at that time the crisis hit only for the financial sector. But this time, it's not only the financial sector, but also the demand side, the consumption, and the whole things, that including also the tourism, and also the air flight businesses, and so other things. So that many countries responses with different things according to their core business or the core economy of the countries. For example, Malaysian give 10.5% of the GDP to spend for the affected business and also individuals, such as tax payment delays and also cash transfers directly to the society, and also assistance in payment of workers' wages and electricity bill subsidies. This also happened in Indonesia. We give more subsidies to the electricity payment, and also give more decreases of tax wages to the society. And also, for example, the Australia give like 9.9% from the GDP for fiscal stimulus, in order to give more tax incentive, also direct cash assistance, and also the wages subsidies. So in average, almost all of the country give the protection to their society using the cash transfer, social protection, tax incentive, and so on. But the number are different. If you can take a look, for example, Malaysia give 10.5 from the GDP, Australia 9.9. The biggest one in this example is Germany, 18.2 from the GDP, while Indonesia is 4.2% from the GDP. In the case of number, it's quite big, because we give 695 trillion rupiah in total. So we allocate 695 trillion rupiah for the whole things like tax incentive, give to the social and medium enterprises, also give to the some corporation, and also tax credit for the whole things. Next slide, please. If we this one, okay, this we have the program Pemulihan Ekonomi Nasional or National Economic Recovery programs. We spend like we allocate the budget from the APBN in the amount of 695.2 trillion. Which are divided to the for the health sector, 87.5 trillion. So social protection 203.39 trillion, and also the whole thing we can see from here. I'll give you the example for the health. For example, we expand the budget for handling the COVID-19, also give some incentive for the paramedics, the doctor, the nurses, and also the death compensation. And also we give a free what's so-called vaccine to the society. And also for the social protection, for example, we give some cash transfer for those who are unemployed during the COVID-19, and also give electricity discount, and also cash transfer, and so many other things. In total, we allocate the 695.2 trillion rupiah from the budget of APBN 2020. Next, please. This is the dramatical change that we can see from the starting of state budget 2020. For example, in the beginning, our tax revenue predicted as the number of 2,233.2 trillion, including tax and non-tax. But after the COVID-19 hit our country, we lower the revenue to 1,760.9. But it's not enough because the economics are slowing, and also many corporations close, many employees are employed, so that we also give some more moderate tax revenue to 1,699. And also we decrease also the expense during that time, but we give more to the what's so-called program PEN or National Recovery Program. Program Pemulihan Ekonomi Nasional. So during that time, we had some deficit like 6.34% from the GDP. As an information from the previous law, we cannot exceed more than 3% from the GDP. But this time, we spent like 6.34%. So we give more, as I mentioned before, around almost 700 trillion for tackling the COVID-19. Okay, next. Next slide, please. So as we realize the pandemic COVID-19, the most hit sector is small and medium enterprises, because during the restriction time, at the time, people cannot go anywhere, even going to the market or going to the school. And as we know, the SMEs businesses are most likely face-to-face transaction. So almost all of them are hit from the hard economic situation. As we can see, their sales are 49% temporarily closed, and also even though they're still selling, but the majority of sales also fell down to 30%. And also the labor, this is the most impactful influence from the COVID-19. As we can see, more than 50% of micro and small enterprises reduce worker, because they cannot afford to give more wages, because there are no sales, there's no revenue from their businesses. And also medium enterprises prefer reduced working hours or work from home. lucky for the SMEs that using, for example, like e-commerce things, they can still sell things by using the internet connection and also using the marketplace. And also, we also give some financial condition. Almost all of SMEs are facing the financial problem. For example, 88% the micro, 77% from the small, and 36% from the medium business don't have funds or can only afford for 1 month. Can you imagine they can survive only for 1 month? Different with other, for example, maybe like big hotels or a big restaurant, they can still survive even though during that time there's no guests or there's no customer coming to their hotel or the restaurant. Maybe they can still survive for 4 or 5 months. But for this SME, they can survive only for 1 month. So these mostly use personal funds because as we know, maybe almost all of SMEs like a housewife businesses, you know, because household business, because they use also their own money to the business. So they're fairly they are hit hard during the pandemic COVID-19. Okay, next. So what the government do for tackling this problem? Because I work for the DG Taxes, Director General of Taxes, or Dijen Pajak, who deals with the state revenue for the tax expenditure. We give some incentives or give some relaxation for the many other sectors. For example, we give like a government bond for income tax Article 21. It means that those who has wages below the 15 million rupiah, they don't have to pay tax. Previously, those who below 5.5 million rupiah must doesn't have to pay tax. But this time we increased the number into 15 million. So, for example, you have the wages, monthly wages, for example, 10 million, for example, you don't have need to pay tax. So the government expecting that you are consume more, so it can get demand, you know. But that at that time, so and also we give such a free tax for the SMEs, because as we know, they are mostly hitting the hardest one. So taxpayer, but they need to not to apply for the certificate, and then also they only report the realization every month. So even though they don't need to pay tax, but they need to report. And also we give exemption of income tax for imports, Article 22. They don't have to pay the tax. Next. And also we give more relaxation. Next one, please. We give more incentive for the Article 25 installment, because as we know, if you have company or you have a certain amount of income, then you need to install Article 25 every month. So we reduce 50% installment of income tax Article 25 from July to December 2020. So this is we're expecting that this reduction can give more space to the corporation or company, so they can use their money to another things, like maybe spending more to their employees, or they can buy anything to to construct their company. And also we give incentive like VAT preliminary refund. It means that taxpayer from the specific type of business, we give import facility for re-export and bonded zone, and also this also during the tax period until December 2020. And also we give a final tax on construction services, income received by the recipient of the program, irrigation water, and also many other things like strategic program borne by the government. Okay, next. And also we give incentive for many other things. For example, like if you produce medical devices or household health supplies for the purpose of handling COVID-19, then you can receive a more additional reduction in net income, as much of 30%. And also, if you donate with your money or goods or services, so you can deduct that from the gross income. And also, you have the additional income received by human resources in the health sector, subject to income tax rate of 0%. It means that if you are a doctor, a nurse, then you need to pay tax during the 2020. And also we income in the form of compensation and reimbursement for the use of assets handling COVID-19, subject to income tax at rate of 0%. These whole things is the effort of government to encourage people or society to deal with handling the COVID-19 pandemic, so that we encourage people, please join to the society and give more, for example, donation or give your effort, so we can reduce your tax. That's the idea. Okay, next. So what happened then after we give stimulus to the economy by using that money, as I mentioned before, almost 700 trillion rupiah. So you can see the economic trend, if we can see from the PMI manufacture index, it increased to 51.3. Because during the pandemic, it decreased below the 50. This is the threshold is 50. You know, if we purchasing manager index manufacture, if the number is more than 50, then it show the trends of the economic are growing, and also the trade balance. The number of export also increasing after the September, I guess, August and September. So it become positive, and also inflation is unstable. And also in the below on the right, we can see that Jakarta Composite Index and exchange rates also stable and going up. Even today, the GCI index almost 6,400. So it means that more and more people are coming to Indonesia to invest in stock, in the form of stock, and also in the form of other things. It means that the economies are already going. Next.
Actually, Pak Nufransa, you have 3 minutes time left. I think you can.
This is also some indicator give the upstick in Indonesian economic growth projection in 2021, because we hope that by using more and more consumption from the government, for example, we give you some money transfer, we give you social protection, then it will stimulate the economy. For example, you can use that money to buy something from the SMEs. So the SMEs can produce something, and then the economic will be growing. And also, we increase also the government consumption, and what we expect is that we have also the confidence, because we have the vaccine also already, and we give the vaccine free to the whole society. This is also give some hope to the society, and also to the foreign countries, that Indonesia are willing to go to the next step to heal the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is some stimulus from the government in order to boost the consumption. And also the state budget have support to maintain people purchasing power, to give caution especially to vulnerable people. And also we also extend the tax incentive maybe until the next 3 or 6 months, so that we can stimulate the economy as a whole. And as we can see, the GDP projection from international agency in 2021 give also some sufficient number. For example, from ADB, they predict that we can achieve 4.5%, IMF 6.1, and also World Bank 4.4, and OECD 4.0. If we compare to 2020, it's really growing, right? So in 2020, we are all optimists to have more economic growth during this time. Next slide, please.
Dr. Nufransa, I think you have 1 minute left. Maybe you can go through the important slides.
This is what we want to do, and also what we had in 2020, and what we want to expect during the COVID-19 pandemic. As a whole, I think this is I already mentioned about this because this is 2010. Maybe next one, please. This is the summary from the 2020 budget, and this one is I think also this is also the same. Next one, please. The 2021. This is still 2020. Next one, please.
So you can go through the conclusion.
This is what we want to share to all of you, that Indonesia will provide COVID-19 vaccine to whole population without any so that everyone can have the vaccine, so we can achieve the herd immunity. As mentioned by Ministry of Health, we must give vaccination for 181.5 million people, and also for those people over 18 years old. So this is the commitment of government. Will take any measure to handle pandemic, including providing free vaccination for the whole population, and also we receive vaccine procurement from the many for example, from the Sinovac, Novavax, Covax, and also some free vaccine from the Covax Gavi, and also the Pfizer. So we provide in total 663 million doses of vaccines. So you guys not need to be worried, because I think it's enough for all of us. But the problem is that we need to queuing, so that maybe with in the several months we can receive the vaccine. But still remember that we need to have the mask, also washing hand, and also the social distancing also is a must, because vaccine is not the panacea, not the best medicine, but we still need to maintain the 3M, wearing the mask, washing hand, and also the social distancing. And as we can see in the bottom, we still have staging for the vaccine. For example, the first one maybe we give for the health workers, and then after that public officers, and also the next one is for the vulnerable, and then the rest of the population. Maybe we can finish all of them in March 2022.
Okay.
So no need to be worried. All of you, you can receive the vaccine. Next one.
Excuse me, Dr. Nufransa. You have conclusion, maybe slide conclusion.
This is the number of 2021 budget.
Yes,
if we compare to the 2020 budget, we increase more revenue we have because I think with some optimism, and also economic growth prediction are growing. I think we can get more revenue, and also we expend more to the for the some ministries, especially for the infrastructure, because this is also need to be concerned. And also the most important thing, we still have the focus on handling COVID-19. because many people say that we focus on economic. No, it's not true. We focus still on COVID-19 because this is the key of success for the economic growth. Even though we give more attention for the economy, while the COVID-19 is not ending, then we are facing the difficult situation. So we continue also social safety net program and also social foundation of inclusive economic recovery. And also we expand access to capital for the SMEs so that they can receive more capital in order to increase their sales, and also for the cooperative through interest by using interest subsidy or delay of payment and so on. Next one. I think the most important thing that we need that we want to explain that be optimistic because the government concerned for handling the COVID-19 pandemic, and especially for the vaccine, and also the economic growth will be increased during 2021 because the exports already driving to the more and more surplus, and also the consumption by giving some social protection, it will create the demand, and also we give more credits and also more incentive for the corporation, so it will create also the supply. So in the whole, we are optimistic that Indonesian economy will be better during the 2021. I think that's all from me because this is the whole thing is just as a number, and many other programs will be continued until at least the first 6 months of 2021, and also the vaccine will be finished maybe during 2020 on March. I think that's all from me, and I hope I can give some additional information for you and also some optimism. But don't forget to maintain the 3M, cuci tangan, menggunakan masker, dan menjaga jarak. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Nufransa, excellent presentation and information. He strengthens the 5 issues. The first one is supporting SMEs and household economy for their survival, and tax incentives those who have below 5 up to 10 million wages. They are have opportunity to free tax, and also SME for the specific areas, and also for the specific exporters, they have the tax incentives. And also you point out about the how government of Indonesia tackling the amidst COVID-19 due to the strengthening the consumption and also for the production, and this particularly in fiscal policy and state budget, and also for the national economy recovery program. So the critical now is how can vaccine could be make the economic strengthen, and also could be make our society boost the immunity, and also during the pandemic we have also the optimistic and also for the expecting the transformation would be just fine and would be on the right track because the global institutions give higher aspect also to Indonesia, that we are can be survive and can be more productive during this era, COVID-19 era. So thank you for your presentation and informations. Committee will give the presentation and all presentation to audience through the link of Zoom. Yeah. So don't worry. You have you can bring the presentation of Pak Wira and another speakers. Yes. Committee will give you link to access the presentation. So thank you, Pak Wira. because he have to stand by for another task. He cannot join with us for the talking and answers sessions. So maybe you can chat with committee regarding what is the point of interest that you should make collaborating to Pak Nufransa. So please do make a chat with the committee via YouTube or via Zoom. So a committee would deliver your answers to Pak Franz. Thank you, Pak Franz. Stay healthy and keep up the spirit. And also, Assalamualaikum, Pak Franz. Maybe next time we can join and we can make collaboration with your ministry in another event.
Terima kasih Pak Nurfransa.
Terima kasih Bapak.
Ya.
Saya izin live.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Nufransa. And the next speaker would be Bapak Agus Mashud S. Asngari. He is a president of Pertamina Foundation. He would be bring the presentation talking about how Pertamina Foundation has a strategy to amidst due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And the time is yours, Pak Agus. So please make your convenient time. Thank you. Please, committee, maybe you can share the Pak Agus.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thanks to Ibu Dina, the moderator, for the time. My warm greeting to all participants of the international webinar, and my greetings also to our respectful conference speakers and my dearest family of PT Pertamina and Pertamina University. Please allow me to share some of my thoughts, especially issues in the field of social work and social projects. Today, I feel very honored to be able to speak at the Pertamina Space Up 3.0 event, and it is followed by the brightest students from all over Indonesia and foreign university. And the theme of this conference is very interesting, with issues that are very current and challenging. We are looking forward. This program will give a lot of hope, enlightenment, and commitment for the young generation to prepare for the normal era of COVID-19. COVID-19 has changed human life and civilization. If we say that period before COVID is the past, so the period during COVID is now. Our future is strategic for dealing with the future, but we have to do by now. So hopefully, 2021 will be the year of hope. Moreover, the population of the Z generation is prominent. I call it a hopeful year for youth. It is a very challenging year again for young people to further define your life in the midst of the threat of the COVID-19 outbreak. Pertamina Foundation made the transformation at the right time. In early 2020, PF has created a new blueprint, including a vision to become a world-class foundation, which will be implemented through the PF Series program and Pertamina University. Digital transformations has also been launched to support PF Series. This gives PF the ability to adapt optimally in implementing social programs and caring for the communities through PF Prestasi, PF Bangkit, PF Muda, PF Brainers, and PF Science. PF Scholarship program through PF Prestasi was attended by 1,648 students competing for only 258 seats available. PF Muda has successfully attracted more than 2,770 social projects from young leaders throughout Indonesia. PF Science, with challenged researchers and academics, was able to produce more than 376 social projects. Meanwhile, PFpreneurs were attended by more 3,000 female trainees who participated in capacity building and mentoring for the womenpreneurs. PF Bangkit has carried out social awareness program related to COVID, both social program and sustainability program to the marginalized communities, including Islamic Brothers School, grave diggers, fishermen, construction workers, traditional market traders are our target audience to assist them for the outbreak COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, and respectful conference attendees, nowadays we still have plenty of choices and opportunities. Becoming an entrepreneur, social entrepreneurs, or social or small medium enterprise activists by forming a profit or non-profit organization is an option that can be taken. Because the next challenge is, what can young people do to make change and transform for themselves and also for society? You must always remember that you need to do extra effort in the midst of limitations due to the COVID epidemic. Referring to the social project model in my presentation, the following steps will illustrate our effort to implement a project or social project. Please be creative. Select the field that you are most interested in starting a business with. Put the idea about creating social project in appropriate proposal. I like to take an example. Friend of mine, Hendra Jaya's culinary business, where he built a tent stall selling seafood in the suburb area of Jakarta. His business very successful. The cheap rental fees to meet potential customers who live nearby the outskirts of Jakarta make their business really success. Yes, Hendra is the one example of young generation, only 25 years old, have a talented and interested in a culinary business. You may also participate in various social project competitions, such as those held by the Pertamina Foundation. Your idea will get challenged, input and reviews from experts so that the idea will be more proper and mature. If you win the competition, then the social project can be run without any funding problem. If you have not succeeded, you can take part in the accelerated program organized by various organizations. You may look at the IG platform that at this moment there is a master class platform where they look for a young generation have acquired business initiation, outstanding business association, and then there are young two prominent people, the minister Sandiaga Uno and also Gita Wirjawan. They are, as we call it, a Sakton. They are looking for that business initiative and they provide the funding. They will invest their money in that business initiation. Then to other two, also, Helmi Yahya, I guess, he challenged also the initiasi to make this become mature, become greater, and able to be implemented properly. So that's what I said, that you have to participate in the such kind of acceleration program or competition program, so that it's not only yourself, but also your proposal is getting better and ready to be implemented. So, in addition to getting reviews and knowledge, participating in the program is because you will get mentors and possible investors for your project. If again funding continues to be a problem, then the social project you are piloting can be included in crowdfunding program. Okay, the community will rate your social project, and then they will donate their money as support through this crowdfunding. I remember one of my friends in Melbourne, as a photography student, he is a photographer, for example. So he has a dream to create a book table, consists of his outstanding pictures that he really willing to share those pictures to the people of Melbourne or to the Australian, for example. Then he apply his project, make his proposal, and propose and inject with the crowdfunding to cover his project. He provided kind of like a postcard pictures from his selected photographers. So that selected photograph will be sent to the people that give donate to his project. So $5, $10, or maybe $20, they contribute to crowdfunding. So he's happy to send that photos to those buyers. So crowdfunding is also make his dream come true. So finally his table book turns his highlight of photos that he was taken during his stay in Melbourne, for example, become a real table book. Okay, so I like to inform you as well. Usually the budget or the funding is also come from your nuclear family. Okay, but by the time your project is getting better and getting bigger, for example, of course, beside that competition, if you won, that you get the money from that competition that will help you to implement your project, you also have an opportunity to get from loan, soft loan, especially from Himbara business. So bank from Himbara BUMN, such as BRI, let's say Mandiri, BNI, are also provided some loan for you if you think that you need it desperately for building your project. But again, guys, I like to support you. I like to push you to make your passion to be a real project. So by the time you are really develop your project properly, so I guarantee that funding, it won't be a difficult hard. Collaborations also is one thing that you may also do. So partnership, find your friends, atau partnership with the institution that may support you, it also may help you again to make your project succeeded. So that's what I hope, that if your program get bigger and generate profit, at the same time, you can have solve social problem in the community. That's what I encourage you guys, the young generation, take this moment. The COVID area is not become a give up, don't give up, but you may get some breakthrough starting from your patient, then put in on your proposal, that finally you are able to implement your project It's not only, again, learn in getting fun for yourself, but also social project that also aim to solve social problems in the communities. Thank you very much. Dina, time is yours.
Yeah. Thank you, Bapak Agus. Very briefly presentation and fruitful information to all Energi Muda Indonesia, PF Muda also. And Pak Agus invites you all, Energi Muda and PF Muda, to propose, to draw your proposal, a project, social projects proposal, and then collaborate with another external parties of Pertamina Foundations due to the COVID area. So we have to more productive, we have to more creative, and Pertamina Foundations establish the various program. So you can join and you can collaborate with us with Pertamina Foundation, and also you can communicate all the stuff for all the staff or the Pertamina Foundations. Maybe Pak Agus Asngari should be invited to another social project, your social project proposal, and Pak Agus Asngari also have experiences, many various experiences in social community projects. So please do write your proposals and then propose to Pertamina Foundations, and we can collaborate as well as the topic subject to the COVID-19 era's best solution to community. Pak Agus Asngari is a humble person due to his busy time, but he has also many opportunities to all of us to meet with us in this lovely morning, Space Up 3.0. So, Pak Agus, let me you are stay in us for the talking and discussion. So, time is yours now for the enjoy the another presentations. So, Pak Agus, thank you, and the other. Now, since Pak Siwage, Dr. Siwage, the time is yours now, Pak Agus. So let us let's hear the presentation, Dr. Siwage now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibu Dina.
Yeah.
Yang terhormat Profesor Ahmaloka, Ibu Fitria Usman, and Bapak Agus Asngari, and also Pak Budi Soejipto. Selamat pagi Bapak dan Ibu semua, serta kawan-kawan mahasiswa from Indonesia and from other ASEAN countries as well. Thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this very important program. This called Pertamina Foundation Space Up 3.0. So the organizer invited me to share a case study of Singapore education, how Singapore education cope with COVID-19 and entering the new normal era. So I hope that my presentation can help students to get some ideas about your research project later. I learned from the presentation of Bapak Agus that there's a potential project that Pertamina will be sponsoring if it's related to these social issues. So I hope that this presentation and later the discussion can give more information for students, how you can maybe think about the current issues, the current problem. So yeah, I think we live in a very strange era, strange period in which COVID has forced us to stay at home. So unlike in the past, we can go out easily, we can meet people, we can shake hands, and we can go to our mosque, our church, our religious places. But now it seems like that's not normal anymore. Under the new normal, we live in a very different situation. So let me start my presentation with perhaps, if the organizer can help to share the screen, and can you go forward? Next slide. Yeah, so let me start my presentation by citing this quote from the Singapore Minister of Education, Mr. Lawrence Wong. So he mentioned that there are major trends that are already underway, and these trends will surely continue after COVID-19. So what he meant by this statement is that before COVID, we have experienced very massive change in our society, our economy, and also our technology. So everybody now used to communicate through social media. So we also use internet a lot, and now we learn about machine learning, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. So all this digital technology coming into our life. This has a big consequences and also implication to our life, our work, our study, and our interaction with people. So the statement by this minister is actually trying to encourage our education, the education sector in Singapore, to anticipate these changes and also to adapt with the new trends. So next. Let me update you with the COVID-19 situation in Singapore. As you may know, Singapore is a small city-state. It is not far from Indonesia. It's if you travel from Batam, Batam is in the Riau Island province, it only takes about 45 minutes by ferry traveling to Singapore. So very close to Indonesia. The population is only 6 million people. And they also affected by COVID. If you look at the numbers here, the statistics shows that so far about 95,000 infected cases in Singapore. And then so far it has caused 29 people dead. So of course it cannot be compared with Indonesia and other big countries, but this also indicates the quality of public health system in Singapore, how they can respond to this kind of pandemic. And if you look at the figure on the right, this is the daily infected cases in Singapore. The first cases found in January, and then it reached the peak in April. And then since then, the rate of infection has been flattened out. And then until after September onwards, it has become very flat. And now we already entered a new normal, which means that we can go back to school, we can go back to our campus, and we can open our business. So the new normal, but will with still high strict health protocol in place. So Singapore is a small case that maybe can be used later as a case study for anyone that interested in how the government responds, how the society responds to this kind of global pandemic. So next, please. Let me tell you about the early reaction. As I mentioned, the first cases found in January, that was end of January, the first infected cases, 2 cases. But that's already caused a lot of panic in the public. And you know that social media, people sharing stories, sharing news, and sometimes rumors that makes the situation becomes worse. So what happened is that people get panic. They go to shopping mall, and then they go to supermarket and they buy a lot of things just to stock up their food. And what is funny, you can see on the picture on the right, people also stockpile the toilet papers. They are afraid that the supply of toilet papers will be difficult during the COVID. So people are buying toilet papers just to make sure that they have enough stock at home. So people panic. That's very natural. And then the government also realized about this, and the Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong addressed the nation to calm down the people that and ensure the people that the government will always protect and prepare for any mitigation measure. So he said that the public should not be worried. The food supplies, the toilet papers, all will be available, and they should not buy unnecessarily all these things and then rush to the supermarket, creating a big crowd, which is actually increase the risk of transmission of the virus. So the Prime Minister stepped in to address the nation and try to make the people understand about that the government will try to control and will ask for the public to cooperate with the government. In March, Singapore closed its border from international travel, so no more tourists can come. Changi Airport was closed. Also, the seaports are closed, so there's no travel, no tourists. You can imagine that Singapore, a small city that very dependent on the tourism sector, has to close its these borders. So basically shutting all the tourists to come into Singapore and causing a lot of damage to the tourism sector, the tourism industry. A lot of hotels, a lot of malls are empty because of this closing of the borders. And then in April, Prime Minister announced the circuit breaker. Circuit breaker is the same term that in Indonesia we use, that pembatasan sosial berskala besar or lockdown. Every country use different term, but the main thing is that they try to make people stay at home, try to make people don't make go out and create a crowd, which is can increase the risk of infection. So circuit breaker was implemented for 3 months, and the peak of infection happened in April on the 20th of April. It reached about 1,400 cases on that day. Next, please. So how the government responds? I've already mentioned that the first response is to close the borders for the international travelers. So Singapore closed the international traveler on March 24th, and then after that implement the lockdown or circuit breaker for 3 months. And then the government also initiated the so-called National Digital Literacy Program. This is in line with the government policy to close the schools, university, and make student from primary to university student to study from home. So the National Digital Literacy Program is actually trying to provide access, online access for learning, so that people, students can still access their education from home. But this is because of COVID, this forced the whole country to implement the online learning right away without without delay. So of course, later I will also discuss, there are a lot of challenge in terms of the communication and also how the learning process is delivered to the student. Then the government also guide the parents to activate the child development account. This is called child saving accounts. Basically, government provide financial assistance for the student so that the student can buy for their internet access, and then also the equipment for supporting their online learning. And then another things that the government try to provide is the gradual preparation to enter the new normal. So instead of reopen instantly, Singapore government tried to gradually reopen the school and the public like the community areas, and until reaching the new normal in December. So the school was reopened in June or early June, and then after that, gradually a lot of shops and market can start open their business. The new normal happened just recently in December, when the government already see that the COVID curve, as I shown in the first slide, has already flattened out. Next, please. So how the education sector responds? Again, because of COVID, it has forced all the education sector to adopt the universal digital learning, online learning. So in Singapore, it is called HBL, home-based learning. You can see in the picture, or the whole family sit on the same table, the kids studying and the parents are working from home. So they require a stable internet access and also a good quality of equipment, so that the student can, of course, receive the learning module from the teacher. And then also internet connection should be stable enough, so there's no problem when the teacher is trying to explain of certain subject to the student. And the education sector provide the support for students from disadvantaged background. Even though Singapore is considered as a rich country, a developed country, but there are also some groups of people that are not so rich. So they have problem in terms of internet access. They don't have an equipment for studying. They don't, especially computer, laptop. They don't have support from the family as well to their education. So for this disadvantaged student, the government provides assistance, not only financial assistance, but also loan in terms of the computer and laptop. They provide laptop for loan to this kind of student. And then the sector also provide financial literacy to students, so that they teach students to open their saving account at the early age. And then this COVID-19 also actually accelerated the interdisciplinary learning in tertiary institution. So what I mean by interdisciplinary learning, it's actually tackling the real world problem, real world issue from very different, from various discipline. We, for example, we have COVID crisis at this moment, and how interdisciplinary learning address this COVID crisis is actually we look at from different angle, from the economic subject discipline, from the social discipline, from the political discipline, cultural, religious discipline. So we try to look at the real world problem and using various discipline to find a kind of explanation and solution for our real world problem. So COVID-19 actually accelerate this kind of interdisciplinary learning in the tertiary education. Next, please. So now we already reached the new normal, and what we see that under the new normal, the online learning is still continued and it will become routine. But again, online learning cannot substitute the school or campus life. So again, there's a social interaction, teamwork the building of soft skill and values transmission that can only happen in the school, in campus. So this is the thing that online learning still cannot substitute. So this is the challenge for the Singapore education, how to do the hybrid model, how to implement the hybrid model, trying to continue the school activities, campus activity, but at the same time also strengthen or promote the online learning. And for the education sector, the challenge is to prepare students to become more versatile. I remember in the beginning, I think the speech from Ibu Fazria mentioned about the agility, how students should become agile in this time of crisis. So yeah, the education sector needs to prepare students to become more agile, and then prepare the student to adapt, and then learn their skill, create the strong foundation for the student to find solution for the real world problem. Next, please. So yeah, this is my last slide. The lesson learned. I think the COVID-19 has taught us that there are some changes, there are some trends in our society, our economy, our technology that have already there, and then now it has been accelerated. So now we never know how life, the future life will be after COVID, how the new normal will look like. So the key things is that we need to be prepared. We need to kind of anticipate and adapt. We need to have some flexibility, regardless the changes that happen in the future in our society, our economy, our technology. Student education sector has to be ready to anticipate these changes. What COVID-19 has taught us is that it has shown the wide inequality in education, even in Singapore. The gap between the poor and the rich can be seen very clearly. The poor student in particular have difficulty in terms of getting the same quality of education. Sometimes they also don't get access to internet. They cannot get access to the material from the teachers. So this is the challenge for future education sector, how we can support the student from disadvantaged background. And from the COVID-19, we also learned their strength and limits to what the government can do, what the state can do. It needs a kind of cooperation from the public. For example, I show this picture on the vaccination program. It's already started here. The Prime Minister has been getting this vaccination, and then now people are starting to get vaccinated. But again, the government has encouraged the people to take the vaccine. But if the public, they don't have the understanding or compliance to get the vaccines, and to actually ensure the success of this vaccination program, then it will be difficult for the whole country to move forward. So again, the governments can provide the policy to support, but again, the public needs to compensate with the, of course, equal kind of response, positive response. And then last, the point that I would like to share with you is that education sector now is being challenged how to prepare a broader set of skill for the student. The 21st century student needs to have a strong foundation, not only strong foundation, but also the creativity, the adaptability, agility, so that they can be more adaptable. They can answer the problem the social problem, the real world problem, and looking at from various different disciplines. So perhaps that's all that I can share. I will stop there, and I'm happy to take any question later.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Siwage. The key points of his presentation is Singapore also struggling to survive for the COVID-19 era. The other things that we can learn from Singapore is how to maintain the education system on the right track, and how to the society get vaccinated, but not also the 3M 3M menggunakan masker, menggunakan cuci tangan dan sebagainya itu. Also Singaporean have disciplined and part of their lifestyle to get COVID-19 ini, this COVID-19 era should be maintained and established in the coming future. So now the third presentation goes to Bapak Dr. Budi. Please, your time.
Okay, thank you very much, Budina. Good morning. Although it's almost it's already 11 o'clock, but still it's good morning. And thank you for the opportunity for me to present. I'm not going to talk about all the data and everything, because I believe the other resource person have already presented those data. I'm going to discuss about more day-to-day life to you all. And I'm going to talk about how to be a hero in this difficult situation. Okay, next please. I think this is the PDF or the PPT? PPT, right? Okay, this is the reality that are around us. Every day, we heard or we hear or we read the news about infections. You know, every day we know that our country breaks the records. You know, always like 10,000, 11,000. I don't know how many infections happen a day in Indonesia. And I believe it's going to increase and then going down and then increase again. It all depends on us, you know. If we are not disciplined, infections are going to happen. So this is the reality. Number two, we also read that the hospital is over capacity. You know, we receive the message from WhatsApp, for example, or video even. I receive some videos showing that you know, people are waiting in the ER emergency room. Okay, they don't get the bed. They even sit down. You know, they are sick, pretty sick, but cannot lay down simply because there is no room in the hospital. Okay, I got the news yesterday, for example, that one person died in the online taxi because I believe he or she didn't get the hospital bed. So that's a reality. Okay, and then we also read and hear about the death of the COVID-19 patients. You know, and if we go day by day, it seems that these people are getting closer to us. You know, in the beginning last year, for example, okay, we know two people. Well, we don't know. We don't even know them, but we know there are two people. And then as time goes by, it's getting closer to us. We know the people, our friends, our relatives, our family, our neighbors, it's like we are surrounded by this negative news, okay? And it forces us to stay at home. The problem is we are imprisoned in our own home, It's like before this happens, we go out, it's like rarely we stay at home. Maybe in 24 hours, at least 8, maybe 9 hours we are out of the home, That 16 hours, maybe 7 or 6 hours are used for sleeping. Okay, it's kind of balance, if you take out the sleeping time between outside and inside the home. Now we even do the seminar from home. To be honest, I think you all agree, that we are reaching the level of boring and maybe tiring staying at home, because we are a social creatures. We have to meet people. We are not animals, and now we feel how animal feels. When they put in a cage, they cannot go out. It's boring. Animals are also creatures, and this is us. Now we are imprisoned in our home. Okay, even we have a big home, still it's boring and tiring because we see same thing all the time. We need to get out, but when we get out, we are scared. Okay, because we hear the news, infections increasing, hospitals over capacity. What happens if we are sick? Where do we go? Where do we get treated? And also death. Okay. If we go out, we have to wear face mask and even face shield. We are not used to before, and it's not comfortable still. This is almost 1 year. I think 1 month later is already 1 year, very fast. It's already 1 year. We have to adjust, stay home a lot. If you go out, we have to wear mask, face shield. If you like doing the sports, for example, it's very uncomfortable if you use a mask and face shield. Difficult to breathe. I think you also know that some are like collapsed because biking or running using the mask. Of course, the oxygen is blocked. Even though it's outside. However, if you don't wear mask, for example, then we run a risk of getting infected. Okay, and then number 4, wherever we go, wherever we meet people, even we know the people, even that those people are our siblings, our brothers, our close friends, we are still suspicious and afraid of getting infected. Okay, because we don't know. This virus we cannot see. This is invisible virus. If we can see the virus, it's easy. So this situation develops or lower our trust, especially if you hear or read the news that there are more and more asymptomatic individuals, or OTG we call it. In Jakarta alone, I read some news that there are millions of OTG. Okay, mostly young people like you, because you are young, you are healthy, fit, so you can you have a better immune than people like me, 50 plus, for example. So we are scared, but we don't know. Okay, so these reality stings. Every day we hear, every single day we experience, we hear. This affect our mental, our psychology. That's why I offer, this is not a new concept actually. This has been around maybe about 10 years. Well, I'm teaching this thing, in my class, and I'm supervising research in this thing. But I try to bring this to you so you know. It is called HERO. HERO is an abbreviation of 4 things that I'm going to mention after this. Next, please. So, HERO, H, it's called hope. So, to be agile, to survive this pandemic, you have to have a hope. What is hope? You have to have goals, realistic but challenging goals and expectations. You have to put there up. I can survive this, So you don't feel defeated before the war is over. Okay, you have to have determination. You have to have energy. It is called willpower. Okay, and you know that it's not easy. That's why it's called challenging. So you have also alternative paths, alternative ways. We call it way power. So we know the goal. We know that this one path is not easy to do and may be blocked. So we have to have an idea how to reach the goal from the other ways. It is called way power again. So this is hope. So hope is not a dream. It's not only a dream. Okay. Hope involves control. Hope involves determination. Hope involves energy. Okay. And hope involves also alternatives. You know what to do. You know what to achieve. But you have to be ready. You have to be capable of reaching those goals. That's the first letter in a hero, H. Number 2, the second letter is E. It's called efficacy. It is basically a confidence, conviction that we are able to reach the goal. We are able to go through the path. We have to have motivation. We have to have cognition. Okay, and more importantly, actions. Okay. If you only have hope, you only have ideas, you have only a plan, but without execution means nothing. Execution requires efficacy, requires confidence, requires motivation, requires cognition, brain, and certainly actions. Okay. Next, please. The third letter is R, which is resilience. Okay. This pandemic is not easy. We are up and down. You have to admit. I have to admit. Well, whenever I read the news, I'm like, oh my God, this again. This happens again. Whenever I go out, because I have to go out, I have to go to the office, for example, once a week or sometimes twice a week. I saw people, they didn't wear masks. That's also put me down. Oh, when this pandemic ends, if people keep doing this, they don't maintain distance, they don't wear mask, I don't know if they even wash their hands. Okay, but the key is not up and down. The key is whenever we are down, we have to be able to go up. Okay, keep going. We have to have the will to go beyond normal. People call it new normal. I call it abnormal. Because it's not normal. Okay, as humans, it's not normal that we don't talk to each other. We don't meet to each other. Okay, but again, whenever it happens, we have to go up and do it again. The show must go on. That's why the last letter is called optimism. Okay, whenever events, especially positive events, we have to credit this as permanent, meaning that, okay, this is the hope, this is the trend, If it's negative, we have to treat it as temporary. If we see, for example, the curve, the numbers are going up, the infection numbers, we have to think, okay, this is only today, the next day would be different. That is optimism. And with the numbers going down, we have to treat it like, okay, the trend is going down. This is good news. It's going to continue. So that's a mentality of optimism. Okay, we have to see everything in a positive lens. Okay, even that's negative events. That's not easy, I can tell you, because that's a research shows, and I have personally experienced this, that negative news are easier to enter our brain. Okay, that's why the news, if you watch TVs, if you read the news, most of the news are negative news. Why? Because we like it's somehow our brain is more receptive to the negative news. Okay, positive, yes, we pay attention, but somehow it can be washed out by the negative news. I'm going to play you a video. That's why I'm asking if this is the PPT or not, because I'm going to play you a video, a short video. Please, next. Can you play the video or not? Okay.
เขาจะได้อะไรถ้าเขาทำแบบนี้ทุกวันเขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลยไม่ได้รวยขึ้นไม่ได้ออกทีวีไม่มีใครรู้จักไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มากขึ้นเพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้คือได้แค่ความรู้สึกได้เห็นความสุขได้เข้าใจได้ความรักได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิมในชีวิตคุณอะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
ไทยประกันชีวิตเชื่อในความดี
Next, please. So instead of regretting COVID, instead of blaming COVID, we all know that many people suffer in this pandemic. Okay, it's clear. How can people work if they have to stay at home? We can work at home. Some of you can work or study from home, but many other people cannot work from home. They have to go out and sell something, do something for their life. That's why we need to be a hero for others too. Okay? Give hope. Let others have expectation, energy, and alternative paths to reach it. Okay, and then we need to develop efficacy so that they can mobilize their motivation, their resources to execute whatever actions they want. Number 3, grow resiliency. Enable others to get up and face the challenges. This is important. And number 4, instill optimism. Encourage others to see the positive side of any event. This is very hard. I know it's even hard for ourselves, but we have to do it. We cannot give up for COVID, although we don't know when it's going to end. Yeah. There is vaccines. There are vaccines already available, but we never know. You know, the government needs to provide vaccines for 180 million people to achieve what we call herd immunity. 180 million, okay, 2/3 of our population. It's not easy. It's not even easy to provide vaccines for 180,000. This is 180 million. That's a daunting task. But still, we have to have a hope. Okay? We have to develop efficacy. We have to be resilient and we have to be optimistic. Okay, so these are the messages from me to you all today. Be a hero. Be a hero for others. Remember, you don't live in this world alone. Okay, there are people suffer. This is the time, the good time for you to be a hero, the real hero. You know, the real hero is not famous. The real hero does not appear in TV. You know, the real hero give benefits to others. Okay, and the acknowledgement from others are more important than acknowledgement from TV, acknowledgement from newspaper. Okay, acknowledgement even from the government. Okay, that's the message. Next, please. So thank you very much. I put here not just 3M but 5M. Okay, wash your mask, maintain the distance, limit your mobility. Don't go out if it's not necessary, and then stay away from the crowds. Okay, thank you very much. I welcome the questions from the audience. I hand back to Budina.
Okay.
Thank you, Budina.
Wow, it's such a great, inspirative presentation. I really enjoy your presentation, Bapak Budi. So being a hero is not everywhere. It is inside in us, in me, in you, in all of you. So being a hero, we have not only suffer from the COVID-19 era, but also we can give our hearts and our hands to another society, because we are social creatures, like you said. Thank you, Pak Budi. Please do your stay in, because we have talking and question answer. So the next will be event for performance arts. Maybe Owen, can you take this session? Thank you, Owen.
Thank you, Ibu Dina. Ladies and gentlemen, still at the event, and right now I will present to you the performance from Student Club of Pertamina University. The first performance from Vox Gloria Choir of Pertamina University.
Kau bisa patahkan kakiku, tapi tidak mimpi-mimpiku. Kau bisa lumpuhkan tanganku, tapi tidak mimpi-mimpiku. Engkau bisa rebus senyum, tapi takkan lama. Engkau bisa berbagi, tapi aku tahu apa. Pada manusia kuat, itu kita jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu kita manusia kuat, itu kita jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu kita. Kau bisa patahkan kakiku, tapi tidak mimpi-mimpiku. Kau bisa lumpuhkan tanganku, tapi tidak mimpi-mimpiku. Kau bisa hitamkan putih, kau takkan menggerakkan apapun. Kau bisa runtuhkan jalan, aku mencari yang lain. Pada manusia kuat, itu kita jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu kita manusia kuat, itu kita jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu bila bukan kehendaknya. Tidak satu duduk jelas bodoh akan bawa bahagia. Manusia kuat, manusia kuat, hidup kita jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu kita manusia kuat, itu kita jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu kita. Kau bisa patahkan kakiku, patah tanganku, rebut senyumku. Hitamkan putihnya hatiku, tapi tidak mimpi-mimpiku. Manusia kuat, itu kita jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu kita manusia kuat, itu kita jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu kita. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying if you care enough for the living. Make a better place for you and for me. If you want to know why, there's a love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares of joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In Please, we cannot feel fear or dread. We stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. Make a better world. Make a better world. Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for living, make a better place for you and for me. And the dream we were conceiving will be filled joyful praise. And the world we once believing will shine in grace. Then why do we keep trading life with such crucified soul? Don't expect to see this what is heavenly, because love we could fly so high. Let our spirits never die. In my heart, I feel you are all my brothers. Greater world with no fears. Together we'll cry happy tears. See the nations turn their swords into plowshares. We could really get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space to make a better place. Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world. Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for living, make a better place for you and for me. You and for me. You and for me. You and for me.
It was a great performance. Please give it applause for the performance from Vox Gloria Choir. I hope you guys are here because I have a second performance from UKM Kesenian Daerah of Pertamina University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome UKM Kesenian Daerah with the traditional dance. It was a great performance. Once again, please give him applause for performance from UKM Kesenian Daerah. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will go to the next event, and in this session will be handled by the moderator again. For Ibu Dina Nurul Fitria, time is yours.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have listened to the extraordinary material presentation from each speaker, who is extraordinary competent in their respective fields. So now we have perhaps 30 up to 40 minutes for the Q&A sections. And then we go to the, if you have question in Zoom room, you can raise hands, and then committee will ask you to open camera. Now we have 3 questions from YouTube. Yeah. The one is from State Polytechnic of Malang. These questions addressed to Bapak Budi. She asked to you that how do you respond to this and how to increase public awareness, especially for the law to low to middle income society, respective for the importance of implementing new era normal. Maybe Pak Budi, could you answer this question? Is still there, Pak Budi?
Yeah. Wait. So how to
Yeah.
address the
How to increase the public awareness,
Okay.
specifically
Low
to
and-
the low and middle income society.
Okay.
Being a hero.
Yeah, I think we need to help them as much as we can. If we cannot help with the money, that's why we need to provide something. That's the goal actually from Universitas Pertamina, to provide them with mask, to provide them with hand sanitizer at the beginning. The goal is to give them hope to be healthy. That's the point. I know it's not. Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Please go on. Okay.
Okay. I know it's not easy. We cannot even provide the job. We cannot give them the money. But more importantly is we need to educate by giving them the mask. For example, we encourage them to use it, and then we also put the message on the mask saying that we need to maintain distance. For example, wash hands every day. We provide also the booth for washing the hands, so that they have at least option to wash hands. I know these times are not easy, but we have to do it as much as we can, so that they have again hope, and they have also capability. Healthy is resources, is resource and capability, so that we can reach our hope. We can have our hope. So that's what we need to do. I think Pertamina Foundation also did that, provide the facility for washing hands, yeah, Pak Agus, and then also provide with the mask. I think that's the least that we do. Okay, we can also do something like this, the webinar, to encourage them. Of course, when we go there, we receive invitations, but that's also, we need to understand the risk of going there. But we can send 1 or 2 people to represent us. Last event that we do is we do the virtual run, to provide money to buy the children books, to provide the books for the children. Of course, this time is still in our neighborhood near the campus, but books are books. They can use the books. Believe it or not, because of the COVID, the library is closed, or their parents do not allow them to go to the library. They don't have the books, because usually they borrow from small little things we need to provide. I think Pak Agus probably has something to say.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Pak Budi, Dina. When I had Pak Budi's comments, I think we're talking about the small or we call it low and medium income, right? The root of the problem is actually affected to the economy. I mean, there's income, their income per capita, for example. So increasing the poor people, that is the point. So in my comment is, I think we need support from every single sector, government, private sector, public sectors, all the communities to raise more awareness from those people. So the only can do, I think, or I'm not saying only can do, but one can do is actually, I like the idea to love Indonesian product campaign, for example. So this is doing massive campaigns, how we love, how we care to our KM, for example, but it is a general campaigns. So we are doing that together massively, and then at the end, you can add all these campaigns with kind of 5M or 3M campaign. So the first thing is become is kind of gerakan, it's like moving action, and then kind of action to how we improve or how we support those people, especially medium and low income, that no access or small or even decrease the access for them to get improving their financial aspect, right? So through those campaigns, I think, and then put on the action below what the campaign is going. So think about that issues, I think. So once we have them directly love the product, whatever product, services, whatever it is coming from the local people or innocent people, then on the campaigns, educate them 3M, 5M, whatsoever, to raise their awareness how important and how critical situation about the COVID. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pak Budi and Pak Agus. And the second question goes to Bapak Siwage. Pak Siwage, you already mentioned about Singapore. One of the important sector is tourism. Regarding this situation, how can you respond if government of Indonesia open the tourism sector due to the COVID-19 era? Is it strategically or not, based on your experience in Singapore? If government of Indonesia open the tourism sector, is it strategically or not, based on your experience in Singapore? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ibu Dina. I think, with regard to tourism sector, from the case of Singapore, what I understand is that the government still doesn't open the tourism sector, given that, the Singapore government still worried that maybe the tourists that will come to Singapore will actually bring the virus, and then it may worsen the situation in the country. So with this kind of mindset, perhaps Indonesia, with the current situation, when the COVID pandemic is still increasing, the daily infected cases is still increasing, maybe we should be careful not to open our borders too fast or too early, because again, this may risk the situation. Of course, there are some maybe kind of special treatment for certain visit, like maybe business official or government official, which is considered very important visit. Maybe this can follow the strict health protocol that can ensure that there will be minimum risk when these people come to Indonesia. But opening the tourism sector at this time will not be the good idea, good strategy for Indonesia. We know that the government has been trying to open the tourism sector for domestic tourists. But again, we see there's a spike in terms of infected cases after the government opened the tourism sector. So learning from this experience, the governments may need to reconsider, perhaps delay the reopening of the tourism sector. Of course, there will be a cost. The tourism sector will be hit hard by the crisis. They don't have a job. They don't have income, revenue from the tourists. This is the thing that may need government assistance to basically support this sector for the time being.
Okay. Thank you. And the next question, Pak Siwage, it's come from Politeknik Negeri Malang. She said that what is the Singaporean education policy, especially for the vocation school? Is there any specific policy for the vocation, or we call it D3 vocation schools? you have any ideas? Is it could be offline system or partially hybrid, online, offline, or fully online? Please.
Yes, thank you for the good question. I think during the circuit breaker, the lockdown, all the education or the teaching, learning activities conducted online. But after the 3 months lockdown or circuit breaker, the school and campus have been reopened. Now student has already returned to campus, but they all have to wear masks. They have to maintain physical distance, and then they need to maintain the strict health protocols like washing hands. I think in Indonesia we know the term 3M, so they follow that 3M, and I think for the new normal, what happened in Singapore vocational education, they go back on campus. They started the face-to-face meeting with the teacher, the tutor. Regular activities. I'm not sure in Indonesia. Perhaps it will take some time before we can go back to the regular pattern of going to campus. Perhaps we still have to wait whether the risk of infection has already declined and people have already vaccinated. If not, then it will be difficult for Indonesian education to reopen and starting the regular school activities.
Okay, thank you. And the third questions give to Bapak Agus. Does it come from ITS, Pak? ITS major member nih Pak di sini Pak. Our Zoom room fully capacity by ITS.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay. They have enthusiasm with your presentation, Pak Agus.
Thank you.
The first question is, what is your concept due to the pandemic era for the surrounding society, especially for the not only youth but also the other generations? Maybe how Pertamina Foundations should be drawn strategically to maintain grassroots also, not only the youth. Okay, thank you.
Wow, that's a tough question. Okay, I think we have to imagine the normal era. Inequality treatment from the government has to be applied for the small, medium enterprises, for example, but also in this case is for the poor people. So means all the policy from the government, I think that is pretty well to allocate the budget policy for the poor. That is the thing that in the normal era we have already noticed, and I think it's increasing in the new normal or in the COVID era. So equality treatment means how the government has to give more, giving special treatment for the poor. I think that is the concept that has to be increased. So we have to support the policy from the financial minister, from president. I think the policy goes to that way. And for my point of view, I think the value of the gotong royong means gotong royong means we take care together and we happy together and we stay together, something like that. It would have to be a play for us as well in this situation. I'm quite happy when Indonesian people, at least, we are not thinking about only the nuclear family, but also the perspective is getting wider. So we gather wider, not only the family, but we also giving more contribution to the society in general. So this point, I think, is very much appreciated for Indonesia. Okay, in this case, Pertamina Foundation is also giving more for the communities. So we are really care. So I may illustrate in some cases, like program PF Prestasi, where we give scholarship for the students around Indonesia. Specifically, we give it to the COVID pandemic affected. I mean, more than 60% of the seats available is given from them. Past trainer, for example, also the same cases. So we can imagine we are quite happy when we are doing like sharing or like virtual meeting, capacity building for them. They are coming from each Nusa Tenggara, for example, Jayapura, Aceh, for example, North Sulawesi, and they came from villages nowhere that maybe we don't understand where the location is. So I'm so happy when they are joining our program. And then through women trainers, we also touch especially for them that COVID affected. Another example for PF Muda, where we are now have chosen the 18th PF Muda winners. Okay, that currently they apply their program to the communities in the East Indonesia as well. So imagine that our money, for example, 25 million, it is giving more effective through the PF Muda, through the youngsters. They will apply their program to, like marginal people there. So again, I think besides inequality treatment from the government, and then plus the value of gotong royong that we are together, collaboration, or we call it a partnership, all the public sectors, private sector, foundations, and all these people, Indonesian people, I think it will help them a lot to be survived from this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you. So there are two questions delivered to Pak Budi and also Dr. Siwage, Pak Siwage. The first one from the LP3I Medan, Pak Andreas. He said that Mr. Budi Soejipto, how do we behave if we are always do good to others, do good to others, but suddenly this person uses our goodness for his own benefit. Okay, so do good usually, but the others use the goodness for own personal interest. And the second one for the Pak Siwage, how Singapore can maintain the digital divide? Maybe you can suggest to Indonesia education system how to maintain the digital divide regarding internet-based education system. Indonesia is still progressing. Based on your experience, maybe you can explain more about how can Indonesia make digital gap for the education still shorten. It is the question from Padang State University. So Pak Budi, please. This is about being a hero, but the heroism is taking benefit to others. So, please.
Yeah, thank you, Pak. Yes, very good question. My response is like this: cannot control everybody's action. We can only control our action. Okay. If we always think that somebody else is going to take advantage of our action, then we are not doing anything. Okay. The point is, we do good things. We create. We become a hero for somebody else. That's somebody else's decision to take action. We cannot prevent. My point is, we do good. It's up to others to do good as well, or take it as long as it can make ourselves suffer. For example, for me, it's fine because I have to believe that the benefit for us do not always come from the people that we have interaction with. It can come from anywhere, like that. Okay, so the reward is not always necessarily coming from the people that we give. It can come from anywhere, from anywhere. So for me, just be hero for others, and it's the decision. Whereas individual group, I believe that we can have good things. So keep doing good things. It doesn't matter what people say, what people do to us, as long as they don't hurt us. Of course, we have to be cautious. For example, we do good, but we don't. We go to the crowd. We don't wear mask, or for example, we wear mask. This crowd don't wear mask, for example. Then we have to be careful. That's there. The protocol still has to be maintained. We have to remind them. So good doesn't mean that we take so much risk, or Indonesia call it nekat, don't think about and everything. That's not the point. The point is, of course, calculated risk. We do calculated risk, so we know what happens. That's my response. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Pak Siwage, based on your former experience in education infrastructure in World Bank, maybe you can share your experience or your knowledge about how to maintain the digital divide due to the COVID area in Indonesia, maybe. COVID era, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Ibu Dina, and thank you for the question. I think this is a big issue, not only in Indonesia, but in many other countries, including in Singapore. So digital divide, it's a big challenge, development challenge. The government has been trying to develop more infrastructure in the ICT, providing internet connection. But again, of course, Indonesia is a big country, will not be able to develop like the massive infrastructure or project at the same time. So it will need some time before it can be completed. So one is the timing, the resources to invest in this infrastructure. So if you ask about how to resolve this digital divide, I think if we can link with the goal of this space up 3.0, which is actually to find creative, innovative ideas, how we can find solution for our real world problem, the digital divide, for example. This is the opportunity for our student to think, help us to think from various disciplines, from, for example, from economic aspect, from social aspect, from political aspect, engineering, science, how we can together solve this digital divide challenge. From my experience, even in Singapore, as a developed country, digital divide is still there. Not only between the rich and the poor. In Singapore, there is no rural area. In Indonesia, we have rural areas that have difficulty in terms of accessing internet. In Singapore, the city, even in the city, internet access can be very different. Some can get a good access to internet. The other may not have a good quality access to internet. So the divide is there, and the government has been trying to provide equal kind of access for internet, but still it goes back to the user. There's a divide as well between users. For example, the young people and the old people. The young people may be able to use the technology, internet easily, but for the older generation, they need some time to learn and to get used to this technology, new technology. So yeah, my view is that this is the ongoing challenge. We don't have the right solution yet. So far, we need to think about how we can solve this digital divide together.
Okay, now the session for Zoom room. Is there anybody want to raise hand to ask one question for speakers? If not, okay, Indonesia UPN Jati apa ini? Please do open your camera. Oh, cannot. Okay, I read this question. How to educate the student to discipline oneself, and also how to make sure the student understand what the teacher deliver in terms of learning distance is quietly difficult to teacher and also to students to get understand what is the material of teaching, and also how to jarak jauh online. What is the support and what is the maintain the facility also, and for the spirit to get the understanding of the teaching materials. Could answer this?
Okay, can I
How
respond?
to educate the student and how to, okay. Okay, please, Pak Agus.
Yes, okay. I think I refer when my experience is long time ago actually when I took my master in Australia. It's about delay ya, Budina ya. Do you hear me properly?
Yeah, please do, Pak.
Okay. Yes, in my devices. So
yes, we can hear it properly. Please go on, Agus. Please go on.
okay. I think the point is yes, both ways. The students and also the universities. Okay, I think like University doing a very great job. I think they put on investment on the facilities to provide for the students. So then the process of sharing or for learning distance is went well. But also, I think from the student point of view is there is also extra effort again. Pak Budi mentioned before the situation is not easy. This is unnormal. You know, you have to do extra effort to approach or to solve this issue about the learning distance, long learning distance. That's what I said. So through this point, what I suggest actually, I try more mentoring system doing. That is what I said. It's my learning from my previous study masters. Besides, we have regular classes. We also have a small mentoring and also exercises with our peers. Then we also can help each other through mentoring and peers discussion, the issue regarding the difficulties to get or to understand the material of teaching. I think this is the very much a period of time that universities also like having a big challenge, you know, whereas there is something that's saying like this: if in the difficult situation, if you are able to win the situation, then you are become a leader, something like that. So this is like one of the challenge for the university also as well to get a breakthroughs for the intellectual properties or the intellectual services to become outstanding. So then people will look up and people will appoint it the universities, because also having a strong point in, for example, long distance learning. Okay, at the same time, from the point of view of the students, again, this is your drive, you know, it's very important. Remember, you are the youngsters, you are the young that I mentioned before, have to take a lead to have opportunities to get, you know, like a leader that, you know, you will survive from the COVID, and also you become the leader that will be able to be independent, to be to fight to be a winner. One of the example is you are able also to deal with the long distance learning and able to finish everything with the A grade, for example. But that's my point. Thank you.
So I cannot hear the.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Maybe you have a point of view.
Sorry,
What?
your voice is broken. I mean, cannot hear.
Okay. Okay. Maybe okay. Sorry, I think this signal very poor in here. So I have to.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Dina.
We have suffered this signal. Please, Owen. Please, Owen. You take over this session.
Okay, next. Right now is the second photo session. So I hope you, or turn on your camera, give your best style and best smile. Right now is the second photo session. So I hope you turn on your camera, give your best style and best smile. This session will be handled by Public Relations. For Public Relations Department, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Owen, for all the respected participants and honorable speakers and guests. We will be conducting our second photo session. Please get ready and prepare your best style for reaction for this event. We will begin from the first slide. First slide, get ready, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, the second slide, get ready in 3, 2, 1. The third slide in 3, 2, 1. Okay, sorry, again, the third slide in 3, 2, 1. Okay, The fourth slide, get ready and cheers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, the fifth slide in 3, 2, 1. Okay, the sixth slide, get ready in 3, 2, 1. The seventh slide in 3, 2, 1. The eighth slide in 3, 2, 1. The ninth slide in 3, 2, 1. The 10th slide in 3, 2, 1. The 11th slide in 3, 2, 1. The 12th slide in 3, 2, 1. The 13th slide in 3, 2, 1. The 14th slide in 3, 2, 1. The 15th slide in 3, 2, 1. The 16th slide in 3, 2, 1. The 17th slide in 3, 2, 1. And for the last slide in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I gladly thank you guys and pass it again to the MC at your control.
Okay, thank you for Department Public Relations. Now we will back to the leaderboard of the games quizzes. Okay, the first winner is Muhammad Zakaria. The second winner is Alia Adana. The third winner is Christy. The fourth winner is M. Fariski. The fifth winner is M. Rayhan Fitrian. The sixth winner is M. Fatih Akbar from ITS. The seventh winner is Gaitsa N from ITS. The eighth winner is Ananda Paradivia. The ninth winner is Alexander from ITS. And the last is the 10th winner is operator. Can you scroll down? Okay, the 10th winner is Hidayatullah from ITS. Okay, I would like to say congratulations for all the winners, but don't forget, for the winner participant with best question will be contacted by the commit. And for the participant who win the quizzes must send proof of the screenshot to the commit contact who has been provided at the column chat. Okay, congratulations for all the winner. We can go to the next event. We would like again to say thank you for our sponsor and media partner to support us in this event. Thanks to PT Pertamina Persero for being our main sponsor, and also Pertamina Foundation, Pertamina University, Space Up, Heuri Cosmos, Sunday Magazine, Pijar, and Perisai of Pertamina University. So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, before we will close the international webinar and grand opening Pertamina Space Up 3.0 with the Live with COVID-19 in New Normal Era, I'd like to present presentation and of course the participant for very active participation. Hopefully, this seminar will be beneficial for everybody, especially to live in new normal era with COVID-19. So then, I would like to remember you again about the feedback link in the Zoom meeting chat. I would like to remind you again about the feedback link in the chat Zoom meeting.